important for the Indian subcontinent and the countries which belong to the Monsoon Asia. Monsoon Asia is the concept that is related to the areas of the world where the monsoon wind and its influences are recorded. That is known as the Asian part of the world where the monsoon wind flows, and that part of Asia is known as Monsoon Asia. It is important not only in the form of the seasonal wind or the reversal of the wind direction from land towards the oceans and from oceans towards the land, but it is also important because monsoon rainfall is one of the important source of the rainfall for the irrigation or for the agricultural activities in the most part of the world where the monsoon wind is recorded. Then what is monsoon and how can we define it? In the previous classes, I have discussed that monsoon is the term that is derived by the term Mausam. And Mausam is the Arabic word, and literally the Mausam indicates about the weather or the season. Because of the seasonal pattern of this wind movement, because of the changes of the direction of this wind movement with changing season, this wind is called as monsoon. Especially this term was derived by the word Mausim, and most of the Arab scholars, especially the Al-Masudi and Al-Biruni, have been analyzed this seasonal shifting of the wind during their trade activities of their interactions with the Indian subcontinent, and with the trade activities that is flourished due to seasonal shifting of this wind is called as a monsoon. What are the various theories that indicate about the origin of the monsoon? Let us discuss about the concept of the origin of the monsoon. If we analyze the concept and the theories of the origin of the monsoon, then we can say that literally there are two concepts or the two root of thought that belongs to the theories of the origin of the monsoon. There are the two ways to see and to observe the origin of the monsoon. First is thermal concept, and second one is the dynamic concept of the origin of the monsoon. We see the theories of the origin of monsoon. Then we can analyze that there are the two concepts that is related to the origin of the monsoon. First is thermal concept, and the second one is the dynamic concept of the origin of the monsoon. Thermal and dynamic concept of the origin of the monsoon. Then what is thermal concept of the origin of the monsoon? Or how this theory is called as the thermal theories of the origin of the monsoon. Basically, this theory is also called as classical concept of the origin of the monsoon. Classical concept of the origin of the monsoon. This thermal concept or the classical theory of the origin of the monsoon is related to the unequal heating and cooling of the land and water bodies. Second, land and the water, their unequal distribution of the land and water surfaces over the globe. Third one is seasonal shifting of the solar radiations or the vertical sun. This theory is based upon the three premises. First is shifting of the sun and the solar radiations, vertical solar radiations in terms of summer solstice, winter solstice, and equinoxes. Second, this theory is based upon the premises of unequal heating and cooling of the land and water bodies. Third, this theory is based upon the unequal distribution of land and water surfaces over the globe. On the basis of these three premises, Haley, Halley, Haley was a scholar, Halley, in 1686. In 1686, Haley was a scholar who has propounded this thermal theory or the classical theory of the origin of the monsoon, that is based upon the unequal heating of land and water bodies and seasonal shifting of the solar radiations or the vertical solar radiation and its seasonal shifting. Let us discuss this theory on the basis of their classical premises and on the basis of their studies. Through the help of diagram, you can understand the thermal theory of the origin of the monsoon. This thermal theory of the origin of the monsoon indicate that during the seasonal changes or during the summer or winter season, this pattern of the direction of the wind changes from the land towards the oceans or from ocean towards the land. This theory explains about the origin of the monsoon on the basis of the vertical solar radiations or winter solstice or the summer solstice concept. During the winter season, when the sun shines vertically overhead at the Tropic of Capricorn, that is the 23.5-degree south latitudes, and sun is vertical in the southern hemisphere over the Tropic of Capricorn, then there is the very low pressure system in the southern Indian Oceans. Suppose on the day of, that is the 0-degree latitude, and that is 23.5-degree south latitude. And sun is vertical over the Tropic of Capricorn. Sun is vertical over the Tropic of Capricorn during the time of winter solstice. And we can see that because of the excessive heating of the southern Indian Oceans, the part of the southern Indian Oceans has the very high temperature, and that causes very low pressure system at the southern Indian Ocean. This is the southern Indian Oceans, and the very low pressure is created. Very low pressure is created at the southern hemisphere, at the southern Indian Oceans. And the high pressure systems, because of the winter season in the northern hemisphere, at the land areas like the Lake Baikal region, as well as near to the Peshawar, there is a very high pressure system because of the excessive low temperature. There is the very high pressure near to the Baikal Lake as well as near to the Peshawar. A very high pressure system is created. There is very high pressure because of the winter season. There is a very high pressure system near to the Lake Baikal and the Peshawar. And we know that wind moves from the high pressure towards the low pressure system. And the wind starts moving from the northeast directions towards the low pressure system. In the form of northeast monsoon, we can see that wind start moving from the northeast directions, from the high pressure systems of the Central Asia and the Peshawar region, at the North Indian Plain region, the northeast trade wind, that is the trade wind, and that comes towards the oceanic area, towards the south hemisphere, and it are very dry because it is coming from the land areas. The temperature is very cool as well as it is dry because it crosses to the land areas. It is coming from the northeast directions in the form of northeast trade wind, and that's why it is called as northeast retreating monsoon or the northeast monsoon. And it reaches towards the low pressure areas of the southern hemisphere. And when it crosses to the equator, the direction changes and it becomes the northwest monsoon when it reaches to the coastal part of the Australia or the other part of the southern hemisphere. तो ये नॉर्थ ईस्ट मानसून समझ में आ रहा है सबको अतीक?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Monsoon does not mean that it will make the rainfall. Monsoon, the southwest monsoon has the rainfall because it has the moisture. But northeast trade wind, when it crosses to the Bay of Bengal, when the wind crosses to the Bay of Bengal, it grabs the moisture from the water of Bay of Bengal in the bay, and it receives the moisture and humidity in the way from the Bay of Bengal, and it causes the rainfall near to the coast of Visakhapatnam or the coast of Andhra Pradesh, as well as the coastal areas of Tamil Nadu. This winter rainfall of the coast of Tamil Nadu and the coast of Andhra Pradesh, these coastal areas receive the winter rainfall because of this winter monsoon, that is the northeast monsoon, and it causes rainfall because of it grasps the water moisture or the moisture from the Bay of Bengal surfaces, and when it reaches towards the Annamalai range are the Eastern Ghat areas and the other mountainous region of the eastern coastal areas, then it causes rainfall in the form of the orographic rainfall. It causes a precipitation, orographic precipitation or the rainfall near to the coast of Tamil Nadu and the coast of Andhra Pradesh. ये बात समझ में आ रही है कि जाड़े में वर्षा क्यों होती है? तमिलनाडु के कोस्ट पे। थैंक यू अतीक, आपने मेरा दिमाग जो है थोड़ा ओरिएंट किया उधर। या the importance of this kind of monsoon is it causes the winter rainfall in the coastal belt of the Andhra Pradesh and the Tamil Nadu. Second important thing is it is also very helpful in the Rabi crops productions, and it is also it generates the dry conditions, a cold wave also, uh, as well as sometime it becomes harmful when there is the frost or there are the thermal inversion region, and then it causes to the damage of the crops and the agricultural activities also. So these are the important features of this monsoon. Another
So,
feature, yes,
so are there any regions which receive rainfall from both monsoons?
yeah, there are the uh, uh, winter winter rainfall at the coast of Andhra Pradesh and the Tamil Nadu because of the northeast trade wind or the northeast monsoon or the retreating monsoon. And there is another type of rainfall that occurs in the western part of India, especially the Punjab, Delhi, western Uttar Pradesh. In the winter season, we observe an amount of rainfall that occurs near to the Punjab, near to the Haryana, as well as in the western part of Uttar Pradesh and Delhi. Yeah, it is because of the western disturbances. When the westerly jet stream or the western disturbances that is occurred near to the Mediterranean surfaces or the Mediterranean Sea, the westerly winds or the sometimes the jet stream also causes and also affects to the rainfall, and it becomes the cause for the rainfall in the western part of India, especially the Punjab and the western Uttar Pradesh and Delhi. Yes, yeah, please. Yeah, beta jet stream is the concept of upper air circulation. It is the swift and fast flowing wind at the height of 15 to 18 kilometer. That is the upper troposphere. This wind blows in the upper troposphere. It is not the surface wind. And although it has the effect over the monsoon as well as over the certain part of circulation system, but it does not move over the surface or at the ground level. But the western disturbances, cyclonic disturbances that is occurred near to the Mediterranean Sea coast or the Mediterranean Sea, because of that local pressure variations, the westerly wind uh, and its zone comes into the influence of the North Indian plain, and when it crosses to the Mediterranean Sea, it grasps the moisture, and when it reaches towards a longer distance, its temperature cools down, and it helps in the rainfall conditions over the Punjab and the over the Bengal, over the not Bengal, over the Punjab, Western Uttar Pradesh, and Delhi. Okay. Yes. Punjab received more rainfall due to the southwest monsoon. But in winter season, although the amount of rainfall it is lesser in compared to the other part of India in terms of the southwest monsoon, because when it reaches to the Punjab areas, the southwest monsoon has the less moisture, but it causes rainfall in the Punjab. But in winter season, the Punjab and the Haryana, as well as mostly the Punjab and the Western Uttar Pradesh, sometime in Delhi and Western Uttar Pradesh near to the Kanpur, sometime it causes rainfall in the Kanpur, has also the amount of rainfall because of the western disturbances, and the because of this sometimes the jet stream also causes for this influences to the monsoon, especially the winter monsoon. And summer monsoon has also been influenced by jet stream because it causes to the variations of the surface wind also. Let us discuss what happens in the summer season. In summer season, the reverse happens. Iska ठीक opposite. The low pressure system that is created over the Tropic of Capricorn and the high pressure system that is created near to the Peshawar as well as near to the Bengal, and that causes for the wind movement in the form of northeast monsoon reverses in the summer season. In the northern hemisphere, the summer season is recorded in the month of June and July. I think it is visible.
Upper part is not visible.
Okay, okay. 1 minute. In the summer season, sun shines vertically overhead at the Tropic of Cancer. In the summer season, when the sun is vertically overhead at the Tropic of Cancer, there is the very high temperature that is received near to the areas of Tropic of Cancer. And because of the high temperature over the areas of Tropic of Cancer, we see there is a very low atmospheric pressure. When the temperature will be high, the pressure will be low. And near to the areas of Multan, as well as near to the areas of Central Asia, we see the very low pressure system created because of the very high temperature. And this excessively low temperature near to the Multan and near to the areas of the North Indian plain, this low pressure system is created because of the high temperature, and high temperature is because of the vertical solar radiation at the Tropic of Cancer. And Tropic of Cancer passes India in the central part of India. We can see that the areas of the Gujarat, areas of Rajasthan, and the as well as the areas of the Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Mizoram, these areas are the areas from where the Tropic of Cancer passes through. Even the Jharkhand also. And because of the vertical solar radiation, we see the very high temperature in that central part of India. And because of the very high temperature, there is the very low pressure system that is created in the central part of India, especially the North Indian plain region. But in the southern hemisphere, there is the winter season in the southern hemisphere, and that's why in South Indian oceans we see the very high atmospheric pressure, because the sun is vertically overhead at Tropic of Cancer. So areas near to the southern hemisphere are the South Indian oceans, that is relatively cooler because of the winter season in the southern hemisphere, and because of the very cool temperature, there will be very high pressure system near to the areas of the South Indian oceans, and that high pressure system becomes the zone of the creations of the atmospheric wind, that is the seasonal wind that is created because of the shifting of the sun, as well as the pressure variations because of the land and water contrast, the unequal heating and cooling of the land and water bodies, that causes the high pressure system at the southern hemisphere and low pressure system at northern hemisphere. Then what will happen? The wind, that is the southeast trade wind, start moving in the southern hemisphere. There is the wind that will start moving from the southeast directions. ये साउथ ईस्ट के डायरेक्शन से ये विंड जो है मूव करना शुरू कर देते हैं, and when it crosses to the equator, this wind become the southwest monsoon. दो विंड साउथ ईस्ट की दिशा में आ रही है, जब यही विंड जब इक्वेटर को क्रॉस करती है तो इनका डायरेक्शन साउथ वेस्ट की ओर हो जाता है. The southeast trade wind that is generated from the high pressure areas of the subtropical high pressure belt of southern hemisphere, when it crosses oceans or when it crosses the 0-degree latitude, that is the equator, its direction changes and it becomes the southwest wind. And that's why the southwest wind, that was previously the southeast wind in the southern hemisphere, when it enters into the northern hemisphere or when it crosses to the equator, its direction becomes the southwest direction. That's why this wind is called as southwest monsoon. Why the direction changes? Yes, Atik. Yeah, because in the previous classes I have told that the Coriolis effect or the Ferrell's law or the Coriolis effect is the reason of the direction changes. Because in the southern hemisphere, the wind deflects in the left hand side from its source of origin. Whatever the moving object is there in the southern hemisphere, their direction changes in the left hand side or the clockwise direction. But the wind or any moving object that is moving in the northern hemisphere, their direction changes towards the right hand side in terms of their moving directions. When the wind that is coming from the southern hemisphere in the form of southeast, and when it crosses to the equator, it enters into the northern hemisphere. And in northern hemisphere, the wind will deflect, their direction will be deflected towards the right hand side, not the left hand side. That's why its direction become the southwesterly. ये बात समझ में आ रही है?
Yes.
जब यही विंड जब सदर्न हेमिस्फीयर में थी तो इसका डायरेक्शन साउथ ईस्ट की तरफ था, ये लेफ्ट हैंड साइड में डेविएट हो गई थी। जब ये नॉर्दर्न हेमिस्फीयर में जाती है, और मैंने कहा था कि कोरियालिस इफेक्ट के वजह से, फेरल्स लॉ के वजह से, जो कोई भी मूविंग ऑब्जेक्ट हो, चाहे विंड हो या आपके काइट हो या बैलिस्टिक मिसाइल हो, उनका डायरेक्शन राइट हैंड साइड की ओर मुड़ जाता है। और ये आपके साउथ ईस्ट ट्रेड विंड जब ये इक्वेटर को क्रॉस करती है तो इनका डायरेक्शन साउथ वेस्ट की ओर हो जाता है। एंड दैट इज बिकॉज ऑफ द कोरियालिस इफेक्ट एंड फेरल्स लॉ। एनी अदर कंफ्यूजन? Okay, let us start with the discussion of the other theories or the other concept that is related to the monsoon. I have told that there is another concept or the theories of the origin of the monsoon, and that is called as dynamically origin or the dynamic origin of the monsoon. ये साउथ वेस्ट मानसून समझ में आ गया? साउथ वेस्ट मानसून के दो ब्रांचेस हम लोगों ने देखा, बे ऑफ बंगाल के तरफ से जब भी जा रही है ये विंड, और अरबियन सी की ओर भी। एंड व्हेन इट इंटर्स इनटू द कोस्टल पार्ट ऑफ केरला, it faces to the Western Ghat region, and because of the orographic barrier of the Western Ghat, it causes the huge rainfall near to the coastal areas of the Kerala and the Karnataka, as well as the other coastal areas of the of that region. The Bay of Bengal branch of the monsoon also causes for the rainfall when it enters into the Meghalaya and Cherrapunji, and the huge rainfall occurs near to the Meghalaya, Cherrapunji, and the eastern part of the India. But when it descends down, the leeward side of the Western Ghat is the zone of the savanna region or the grassland region. Windward side of the Western Ghat has received more rainfall because of the southwest monsoon. But when it goes and enters to the leeward side of the monsoon, the rainfall amount is very less, and certain aridity or the semi-arid conditions of the near to the leeward side of the Western Ghat is recorded. In next class, we will discuss about the yes. Yeah. Although the monsoon wind first strike to the coast of Karnataka, कर्नाटका का जो कोस्ट है वहां पे पहला स्ट्राइक जो है ये करता है, लेकिन द रेनफॉल occurs near to the western Ghat region, coast of Kerala, is the first May. I think that the in May the rainfall started, and it is the symbol of the beginning of the monsoon when it strikes to the coast of when it strikes to the Western Ghat region of the Kerala. The maximum amount of rainfall is recorded. The Karnataka coast is also recorded the more rainfall. Yes, because there is the less gap in the Western Ghat. there are 3 or 4 gaps in the Western Ghat: Thal Ghat, Bhol Ghat, Pal Ghat. ये आपने पढ़ा होगा, थाल घाट, भोल घाट, भील घाट, ये पढ़े आप। तो कर्नाटका में कम गैप है, कर्नाटका में कोई गैप ही नहीं है। कर्नाटका का जो वेस्टर्न घाट रीजन है वहां पे गैप कम है, इसी वजह से अमाउंट ऑफ रेनफॉल भी आपका कर्नाटका के कोस्ट पे ज्यादा है। केरला में भी गैप है, पलक्कड़, पालघाट का गैप। महाराष्ट्र में भी गैप है। ओके, in next class we will discuss about the dynamic concept of the origin of the monsoon, ITCZ theory and the jet stream, as well as the P-Koteshwaram theories of the Tibetan plateau and its associations with the monsoon. आप लोग इसे पढ़ के आइएगा। नेक्स्ट क्लास में हम लोग दूसरे कंसेप्ट और पढ़ेंगे। थैंक यू। सॉरी, yeah, Indian monsoon, the thermal concept of the origin of the monsoon. Thank you, thanks a lot.